Hello, this is Alex at IES, and in this video or videos, I'm going to be going over editing the homepage. I'm on this Cyberschool 2.0 or alexdev.cyberschool.com that I'm kind of working on, kind of updating our help site so it's a bit more modernized, a bit more current. And so I'll be using this homepage to kind of show you all the different things that we can do with editing this homepage. And so, as you can see, it's probably the most current template that we have with all the different modules. Um, so all these floating kind of gear symbols we're seeing flying around, the different sections that I can edit, and you may not be seeing a lot of these or any of these, which is perfectly fine. You're free to skip ahead to different parts of this video, but I'll be going over each of these in depth, pretty in depth really. And so we've added all these different modules because we feel like the homepage is kind of like the hook of your site. It's the landing page for your site. So it's the first page that every one of your visitors will be seeing. So we want to make it as kind of pop as much as possible. So let's go ahead and get started. Um, I'm going to be talking about the primary navigation settings first. And primary navigation really dabbles with, um, this particular area that we have here. So you'll see I have a mega menu here. This training videos drop down is a mega menu. Same with this written manual one. It's the same one actually. It's not any glitch that we're seeing there. But yeah, it's the same. It's the same menu because I have written documentation over every particular aspect of Cyberschool, as well as a video documentation over just about the same things. And so the way we configure a mega menu is in the primary navigation settings. So let me go ahead and open this up. And whenever you click on one of these settings, you'll get a little window that pops up just like this, called a modal. And you'll see the layout of this is currently set to mega, so it's a mega menu. But I can change that. You probably have like default, and it's just like a standard drop down. Let's save and see what's going on with that. Okay, so it looks a lot different now. You'll see the text is really transparent there because over in styles, the navigation text color is set to light. So let me go and change that to dark. So you see it's darker now. So yeah, we have that kind of power when we give you these settings here. It's changing around the colors, changing around the kind of layout of this. So now you'll see training videos is just this huge drop down. Same with written manual. Okay, so I had it set to mega before just because I like the way it looks better. Mega menus are a little bit trickier to work with in that if you have a drop down that has another drop down to it, it's not going to show as well. So I would say definitely be careful with those. Let me save that. And okay, now you're seeing it populate that way. Let me go ahead and change that back to light, navigation text color light. Hmm. Guess it didn't change anything with the mega menus, but that's fine. The layout really decides, default is just the standard drop downs. Full will make this full width. It might look the same as default. That's perfectly fine. Mega is for mega menus. Image only will only display the logo. So let me go ahead and show you what that's like. Okay, so now you see just the logo there. The slogan, the IES Cyberschool 2.0 is gone. Um, and it's just a standard drop down there. And then slice header. This one's a bit trickier to describe, so I'll just show you. Okay, so now you see we have the actual logo there, and the header is completely sliced. So now it's this entire space is being shared with the logo, the slogan, the title, as well as the navigational elements there. So that one is really, for special case templates where like the logo is actually displaying the title and the slogan, etc. So let's go back to Mega. Okay, so we also have this setting that says Mega only links per column. And this is basically how many links are going to be displayed in each column. So you'll see in training videos, I have up to chapter 20. So there's 20 elements in this drop down here, and each one of these columns has 5 chapters in it because I currently have that links per column set to 5. However, when I change that to 4, we're going to see 5 columns with 4 settings each inside. Okay, so after the 4th column, it kind of drops down to the next one there. It's a little unsightly once it starts filling up more and more, but I would say definitely, a little bit of math is involved there. I have 20 elements. 20 divided by 5 is 4, so it's going to be 4 columns there. Okay, then we have secondary navigation, phone number, fax number, all these little check boxes. Let me go ahead and show you what that's about. So I'll just enable the secondary navigation here. And the district name and district slogan is actually pertaining to district name is Cyberschool 2.0, and the slogan is just making information technology work for you. And I'll show you where those are configured in just a moment, but let me save this. Okay, so with secondary navigation, you'll see I have this orange bar here up top. This is a secondary navigation, as we call it. And now watch what happens when I configure these 3 settings, phone number, fax number, and address. Okay, so that the address is shown there, and then phone number and fax number as well. And if you'll notice, those are actually the contact information. Let me pull up the site configuration. In the school setup, you'll see it's the phone number, fax number is currently empty, address line, etc. So before, this site title and this site slogan is actually being pulled from the site title here and the meta description that goes along with this here, making information technology work for you. You'll see making information technology work for you. If I just go ahead and change that, say information technology to better the future or something. Save that. And let's go ahead and just refresh ourselves. And now you'll see information technology to better the future. Okay, all I did was change the meta description. Information technology work. Oops. Okay, it looks a little different. I'll have to change that later, but oh, it's capital W. Hmm? Capital W. Okay, I'll get it fixed later. But back into primary navigation, we have things like custom logo and custom school name. Don't worry about these too much. If you don't understand what those are, it's perfectly fine. Um, most of the times those aren't even set. I'm not even certain that those are working the way I think they're working. So we're just going to move back over to styles. And you saw me come over to the styles before, and this is things like the colors that are in the primary navigation. You'll see site title color there and site slogan color, so that's orange and black. And you'll see the site title, Cyberschool 2.0 is orange, and the slogan is black. Then main navigation background color set to orange. You'll see main navigation background. This background bar here is orange. Navigation text color. So this was set to light, but I think with mega menus, it's currently fixed to that black color there. Um, so I don't think this one really matters with mega menus. Then main navigation hover color. So you'll see when I hover over one of these, uh, that also might be fixed for mega menus. Drop down text color set to white and drop down background color. Hmm. Okay, so some of these you really have to look at. Let me go ahead and change this back to initial or default, and then we can configure those. Okay, so Now let's go over these. So we have navigation text color set to black, main navigation hover color. So when I hover over one of the main navigation items, it gets that blue color to it. Drop down text color. So this is the color of each drop down element there set to white. Drop down background color. So this is the color of the background in the drop down. So it's currently set to blue. And then drop down hover background color is set to orange. So whenever I hover over an element, it'll get an orange color to it. Okay, so that's what those are referring to. Let me set this back to mega. So just about every aspect, you can change the color around that goes with it. Okay, then dimensions. Don't worry about dimensions really. It's set to container, but there's also container fluid, and those are just different CSS properties that are being attached to this menu here. But it's perfectly fine if you just leave that with container fluid. You won't really notice any difference. Okay, with basic settings, we have navigation font size. So this is currently set to 17, and you'll see the font size of these home, training videos, administrator video outline, and even these sub-elements have a font size of 17. And I can increase or decrease that from this navigation font size. Okay, don't worry about custom CSS. Site slogan font size. So it's currently set to 2. However, it's not 2 pixels. You'll see site slogan font size modifier set to EMs instead of pixels. PX is pixels, EMs. I don't really know what EM stands for or what it references. I know they're different scale on than pixels. So you'll see this is definitely a lot larger than 2 pixels there. Um, so I would say play around with those settings a little bit. Each one of the text that you see in the header, you'll see it has a modifier, whether it's EMs or pixels, and then the max height for the logo image set to 200. Um, and as we scroll more down, we have things like navigation padding. So this is the padding between each navigational element, currently set to 10, so that's not much. I set it just so that all these will fit onto one line. I think if I increase it a little more, it'll probably stretch onto 2 lines. Okay, so I would definitely say, play around with these settings here, find out what you like. Definitely a lot of trial and error unless you're really web design savvy and you kind of just understand right off the bat. Okay, these settings here deal with this secondary nav. That's that top orange bar that we have. So if you want to change the background color for that, you'll see it's currently set to orange. The text color is currently set to black. Or the padding, if you want to increase or decrease the space between each element in here, you can do that by this padding option. Okay, lastly we have background, and you'll be seeing this background a lot with the different settings that we have available. With this background in particular, this is things like if you want to change the background type, currently a solid color, that white color there. But let me go ahead and change that to gradient, and you'll see the secondary color is orange, and that's for gradients. So you'll see it kind of go from white to orange to the right. So it's going to start out white, and then it's going to move orange. Let me go ahead and save. Okay, so you'll see it starts out white, and as it goes more to the right, it gets more and more orange, kind of blends there. Okay, and it's not just with this one, it's all the way up here as well. But let me go ahead and change that again. Okay, we also have an image, if there's an image you'd like to place in there, or an image with a gradient as well, if that's something you'd like to do. You can change the direction if you want it moving to the top, so it would start at white on the bottom and move upwards into an orange color, to bottom, which is white from the top, and move orange to the bottom, or to the left is white on the left, and then as it moves to the left, it goes orange there. Let's go ahead and keep that to right. This background image is if you want to place an image. So if you set this to image, this background image will be the image that's placed in the background. Background image size just deals with how that image is going to fit, if it's going to cover the entire area, if it's just going to leave it up to the browser, contained within the area, things like that. Okay, then an overlay opacity. So opacity is basically how transparent this background is going to be. Um, if you set it to 1, you're going to see its full visibility. Set it to 0.5, you're going to see it kind of faded a little bit, and then set to 0 is going to be completely invisible. Okay, let me go ahead and save these. All right, next we're going to be talking about the uh, mobile navigation settings.